Hey guys, Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, one of my favorite places in the entire world, and a place that I think every Nomad Capitalist should consider for investing here in Cambodia, maybe even living or spending some time here, putting it on your list of bases for nomadic living. We did a video recently called 6 Reasons to Consider Investing in a Frontier Market. You can find it on YouTube, where I explain why investing in up-and-coming markets like Cambodia is a good deal. But I wanted to make this video and explain specifically about Cambodia, why I think that it is uniquely positioned among all of the frontier markets as one that's a great idea for the people that we talk to, Western investors, entrepreneurs who are looking for a place to earn high returns and take part in something that is, I think, going to be very big. Now, the first thing that's interesting, just being here in Cambodia and being a lot of places in Asia, quite frankly, is just trying to find a quiet place to record this video, even within my hotel. There's so much hustle and bustle. So many things are being built here. Every time I come here, it's maybe a year apart, sometimes 6 months apart. There are new things going up. And so, like many other frontier markets, Cambodia has malls, they have skyscrapers, they have new residential buildings, they have new stores coming in. Here they have a casino. So there's a lot of stuff coming. And if you were here, I think I was here the first time 5 years ago, what has changed in the last 5 years is amazing. And so, personally, I prefer, among all the frontier markets, Asian frontier markets for one specific reason. And that is, I just feel that there's a lot better growth potential in Asia. And I'll tell you why in general, and then why specifically for Cambodia. So, when you look at South America, for example, you've got one gargantuan market, Brazil, which is a mess. And the rest of the markets are either a bit more developed, i.e. the Colombias, Argentinas, Chiles, or the frontier markets like Paraguay are next to places like Brazil, where there's just not as much potential, in my opinion. Africa, you've got a lot of challenges. It's not as accessible to the average person. Even China pulled out a lot of those African countries. There's still a lot of corruption and bureaucracy and just not a lot of clarity on what's happening. And so, for me, Asia, of all the ultra-frontier markets, makes the most sense because you've got a lot of accessibility. For example, I flew in to Cambodia from Kuala Lumpur on a flight that was pretty darn cheap. They've got flights from AirAsia, they've got flights on Malaysian, they've got flights from all over Asia. It's easy to get to and it's cheap. So you've got a lot of people coming in and investing here and taking part in the economy in a way that you don't have in the Americas or in Africa, where accessibility is weak and infrastructure is weak. So the level of development in Asia, quite frankly, in my opinion, compared to other potential frontier areas, is much higher. Specifically on Cambodia, I believe it's probably the most accessible frontier market in Asia and one of the most accessible frontier markets in the world. A lot of the buzz in the recent years has been about Myanmar. If you're Coca-Cola, Myanmar is great. If you're everyone else, it's still a mess, in my opinion. Myanmar, there's still a lot of unanswered questions there. Mongolia was another market that was discussed, very resource-based. Certainly potential, but again, for the average person, how do you play it? I look at Cambodia as a frontier market that's in Asia, the best part of the world, in my opinion, for frontier investing. You're sandwiched between Vietnam and Thailand, 2 more developed markets. And you look at the trajectory of growth in just Thailand, for example. What did Bangkok look like in the 80s? I think that if you look at pictures of Bangkok in the 80s, you see Phnom Penh now. And I think that in the next 20 to 30 years, you're going to see an explosion in this market because it's already well positioned between and around other countries. Cambodia is also part of the ASEAN market, which is 10 countries in Southeast Asia working together, kind of like the EU without all the bad parts. And because of that, I think you're going to see a lot of development and a lot of money coming in from other countries. You're already seeing money also coming in from China. So proximity to China, proximity to India, which is the other big Asian tiger, I guess, of the 21st century. You're right smack in between those. You're next to Thailand. You're getting increasing amounts of tourism. You're getting just a lot of things happening here that you're not going to find in some of the more, some of the smaller African markets, the Rwandas, for example. I think Rwanda, for example, just as an example, is doing some good things, but I don't know exactly how they are going to capitalize on that in a big way, as opposed to Cambodia, which I think has a lot more benefits to take advantage of. But on top of that, the market is just accessible to investors. Foreigners can own property. Foreigners can open bank accounts. There aren't really that many foreign ownership restrictions. as in other frontier market countries. Laos, here in Southeast Asia, has a ton of restrictions on foreigners. But Cambodia is actually pretty open. They encourage investment. They encourage foreigners to come here. It's a very open society. And I think there's still a lot of room to grow. So for those reasons, the connectivity, increasing tourism, the connection to India and China, those are just some of the reasons why I think that Cambodia is very uniquely positioned. I think that you can play the real estate market. We have a colleague of mine who is doing that with a property fund that he has. I think you can come here and start a business. I've been saying that since 2013. There are so many opportunities here just on a ground floor level to start something that hasn't been done before. But it's all happening very quickly. The level of efficiency here, I think, in terms of frontier markets is very good. Things are growing, and so it's not going to be wide open forever. And already you're seeing the government start to come in and realize that, hey, maybe we should regulate a little bit of this stuff. So if you're looking for a great frontier market, Cambodia really stands out to me. If you want to make the highest amount of money, maybe you go and live in Burundi in Africa, and you actually live there in a tent, and you try and figure out how to do, Bitcoin payments on your mobile device or something. But if you're looking for a place where you can actually come and, or not even come, just invest from afar, or where you can come and live and you're not going to be living in total squalor, I think in either scenario, for the Westerners that we talk to at Nomad Capitalist, Cambodia comes up in the top of the list. You could spend time here. You could be here. You've got great hotels like this one I'm standing in now. You've got so many different options that I think it really makes sense for someone who's a Westerner looking to park some capital, not looking to change their lifestyle too much. Cambodia stands out as one of the best frontier markets, in my opinion.